Pair work can be used in order to assess the speaking skills of the students by the teacher. It is not a good practice to make the student talk to the teacher and the teacher assesses the student on that ability, because sometimes the teacher is working on the marks distribution and is concentrating more on that, so she is not able to make out whether the speech or the speaking skills that she is supposed to be looking at are really good enough for her to mark or not. Therefore, it is a good practice to divide the class into pairs, and every time the teacher wants to mark the students' speaking abilities, she calls one pair to herself and gives them a topic to talk on, and while they are speaking and they are busy in the conversation on the topic that the teacher has given them, she assesses their abilities. Because it was in the previous years, the practice was that the teacher is going to have a one-to-one conversation with the student and then going to assess it. But there the input of the teacher was sometimes taken by the student, and then it was difficult for the teacher to assess whether the words spoken by the teacher were taken by the student or were they coming from the student himself. Therefore, this practice has now changed, and it has been seen that it is very successful, that while the pair converses with one another, while they are talking to one another, the teacher can just observe, look at the errors made, and also look at the strengths of the conversation, and to see whether the pair is keeping to the topic, whether they are focusing on the topic and their discussion is going relevant. They can be given a choice if they want to talk in favor of the topic, or they want to talk against the topic, or they want to be in agreement with one another. That choice can be given to the students. But again, the selection of topics should be relevant to their level. Also, the teacher must see that the topics are interesting enough for the students to carry on with their conversation. Along with that, the topic must be of a type where more and more conversation can be made. Some topics are a bit close-ended and the students cannot really talk much about it. So the teacher should try to select a topic which is interesting, where the students can have more speaking conversations, and where they can exhibit and express their opinions more, in order to enable the teacher to assess them in a very fine way and to register what the two are talking about. So the pair work activity, in order to assess the speaking skills of the students by the teacher, by observing the conversation going between the pair, to speak on a topic which could be selected by the teacher, or the teacher can also give them a choice to opt for one topic, so she can have more than one topics with her, so that the students also have the liberty to choose to speak on a particular topic which they think is interesting for them. Also, sometimes the teachers, they give time to the pair to select the topic, in which they just discuss by themselves which one would be better. For example, there are two people who are interested in sports, and there is a topic which is on cricket or hockey, so that means the pair can discuss and they can see that they can talk more on that subject, so they can select it. So in that case, teachers are advised to have topics with them with differentiated fields of interest, and keeping in mind that this is the level of the students, these are the interests of the students, and this is how they are going to cope with a certain conversation, in order to let the conversation flow. A lot depends on the topic for the students to have a conversational flow in their speaking skills. Therefore, that must be kept in mind, and that is how we facilitate our students to speak.